It came down to the very last minute. Bills up 3. The Jaguars have a chance to win it. What happens? Bills safety Cole Bishop intercepts Jaguars quarterback Trevon Lawrence. Game over. Buffalo advances, beating the Jaguars 27-24 in the wild card round. Buffalo's first road playoff win since 1992. There were 7 lead changes in this game. 4 came in the fourth quarter. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. He's Bills Hall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm Maddy Glab. Man, oh man, did we have to sweat it out to the very final minute. But Buffalo's defense closes it out.
They close it out, and it really was a fantastic football game. I know it's easy to say that when the Bills win, but what a fantastic game. 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone. Both teams, the Bills had 2 9-play drives in the fourth quarter. The Jaguars had a 10-play and 11-play drive in the fourth quarter. Their last drive of the game ended up in a tipped interception that ended the game. 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter, 3 leading up to then. Fantastic game. It looked for a minute like Jacksonville was going to beat the Buffalo Bills up so they couldn't finish the game. Bills came in strong. Josh Allen finished it strong. What a football game. You're right. The defense did everything they could, held them to 24 points, which is pretty good considering they're playing maybe the hottest offense in the National Football League coming into this game. Did a fantastic job on them, contained them. They weren't going to stuff them. It's not going to be like the '85 Bears or the 2012 Seahawks or one of those teams, but they did do enough. And the Bills' defense came up big right when it mattered most. They got a couple of turnovers in this game, which was huge. And the Bills found a way to win in a game where they couldn't run the ball really well, but Josh Allen, this receiving core, the running backs, the tight ends, did enough.
Everybody said this game could come down to who has the most takeaways. Buffalo wins 2-1 against the Jaguars. The Jaguars all season so good at forcing takeaways, ranking 2nd in the NFL with 33 takeaways. Well, Buffalo wins in that category today, finishes the game intercepting Trevon Lawrence, a huge factor in Buffalo's win. Bills quarterback Josh Allen, happy as a clam after this one. He's on the podium after this big victory.
Playoffs, what's the significance of that to you?
To me, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It means that we were good with our communication on offense. Defense made plays, obviously. Now we have a chance to go do it again.
Hey Josh, 3rd year in a row you've had that chance with the ball in your hands, which is what you want, to finally get through that and come through. What does that feel like for you?
Feels good. Feels good. At the same time, again, that it just means that we get another game, and we got to go find a way to put our best foot forward this week in practice, put together a good game plan, go out there and execute again next Saturday or Sunday, whenever we play.
Josh, your message to your teammates before that final drive, anything you said to them?
Just to love y'all. I got you. You got me.
Can you take us into when you had to come off the field there and you went in the tent, the knee, and just those moments when what goes through your mind of how bad is it?
You're saying the blue tent on the touchdown?
When you got hurt?
Yeah, it was more of a precautionary thing. Just got rolled up on, and they wanted to take a quick look, but we're all good.
Last drive, you guys, it just seemed like you were very under control. There was no rushing, there was no panic. Kind of take us through what it's like in that situation.
Yeah, relying on each other. Put in something this week, and we ran it there at the last drive, a bit with B. Cooks running down to the post. Saw a look, and we executed it. It felt good to know we have all 3 timeouts. We had enough time on the clock to run our offense. There was no panic, no rush.
Cooks obviously joined this team partway through. Can you tell us a little bit about just your relationship with him as it's progressed to this point since?
Yeah, it's been awesome. A true pro's pro. Does everything the right way. He's always in the building. He's always learning. Always on the sideline getting extra catches. Just does everything the right way. And then he's a hell of a teammate. We love having him here.
Josh, what is it like watching Trey tip that pass at the end?
It was awesome. Again, a guy that's been under a lot of scrutiny throughout the last couple of years, and to get him back and to get him back in a Bills uniform and making plays for us when we need it the most, that's Trey.
Josh, you talked about how this team is battle-tested, has gone through adversity this season. How do you feel like that maybe manifested itself in the way that fourth quarter played out?
Yeah, to have the wherewithal to, again, not blink. And I think that's just the mantra that we've adopted this year of if we've got time left and we got the ball, we got a shot. And you saw that there today.
Josh, it kind of felt like this was a little bit of a microcosm of the season, right? Like, you guys are down late, you need to do something, you do. How much did that help you guys prepare for this moment?
A lot. We feel like we've been in situations like this, and now every game presents itself in a different way. But to understand the moment, to not ride the wave, again, that was stuff that we've learned throughout the entire season. We were able to utilize that and use it today.
You look at the way
This field with the pressure of each game and having to come back out after the Jaguars took the lead. What was the feeling of the team coming back onto the field?
Do your job. That's it.
this will be the most cliche question I ever asked, but this was kind of the definition of complimentary football, right? The fourth down stop, the defense got early. At the end, was this like the quintessential complimentary game?
100%, no turnovers on offense. I know we had a rare one on special teams. Even the first drive, though, getting the ball backed up, getting a few first downs, being able to flip the field. Our defense making a huge stop on fourth down near the goal line. Yeah, and then again, just finding opportunities and being able to punch the ball in the end zone, and we did that today.
Can you take us through the sequence of punching it in on that, where it's an 11-yard tush push, which might have been a record if it goes through, and then maybe the confusion, do you want to score here? Maybe it's okay that we didn't score. I mean, what's going through that whole thing?
Standing right here, right now, we did the right thing.
Which was?
Score.
You wanted to, the touchdown there, not you taking time off clock, all that stuff, right?
Hindsight's 20/20, but at the end of the day, we got it done, and that's all that matters.
Josh, what is it like when you were in that pile of people? I remember Connor McGovern telling me once, it's just a lot of groans and weird noises. When you're the guy with the ball, what is happening around you, and what's going through your head?
Yeah, sometimes you don't really know what's going on. My feet are kind of off the ground, and you really can't do anything. So just in that moment, just holding on to the football as tight as I can.
On the play you finally scored on, did you feel like they might have let you go in there because they wanted the ball back? It felt
Potentially,
it looked like
yeah.
you got it. It was pretty easy for you on that.
Yeah, but again, you sit there, you can say, hey, let's take a knee, you lose some yards, and you don't score there, then now you're kicking yourself for not scoring earlier. So again, we did what we thought was right, and it turned out to be.
I think the reason we're asking is because it was kind of, in retrospect, kind of funny to watch. 11-yard tush push. Osiris is like dragging you in there. Are you trying to go down, like at some point, or?
I'm not thinking about that. My job is to help get the ball in the end zone, and that's all I was trying to do.
A lot of your pass catchers made plays. When you went to Shaqiri, you caught him all. What did he mean to you today?
That's Khalil Shakir. To have that reliability, to have that safety valve, if you will. He's tough as nails, just continues to do his job, and he finds himself in big spots, and he makes the plays for us, and that's because of how hard he works and how much he loves his teammates.
Josh, apologies if you've been asked this, but what happened on the play where you came up limping a little bit, and where's that? What is that?
The one, the touchdown? Yeah. He just got rolled up a little bit. Sometimes those get a little funky when you got a lot of big dudes at your feet. So, yeah, but we're good.
Josh, you guys won. You guys won so many games off of James's rushing. Today that wasn't happening. Was there a point in the game where you felt like the opportunities were going to have to be through the air?
Yeah. Again, we try to continue to do it, and that's a really good defense, a good run defense especially. And we know that moving forward, we're gonna need to rely on James, and sometimes it's the product of who you play. And we just found a way to win. Hey guys.
Love Cole Bishop in here.
Bills quarterback Josh Allen was Mr. Efficient against the Jaguars, took what the defense gave him, the easy options and also the tough ones when he needed to stretch the field and Buffalo needed a big play. Allen took week 18 to self-scout because he didn't have to play. In that self-scouting, Allen said, man, I left so much out there. And in this game against the Jaguars in the playoffs, Allen did not leave a lot out there, finishing with 80% completion percentage. Such a great number, 3 total touchdowns for the quarterback. You couldn't ask more of him in a game like this.
No, he completed 80% of his passes, and he was getting the ball out of his hands fast. He did take 1 sack in the game, or is recorded as 1 sack. Ran the ball a little bit, but Jackson in the playoffs, Jacksonville, and the Bills fan, you got to admit, Jacksonville was a good defense. They tackled extremely well. They were fast. They were very physical. It looked like Josh was going to get knocked out of the game. He took a couple of hits. He tried to run early on, and Jacksonville was making him pay for it. As the game wore on, though, the Bills hung in there. Josh and Khalil Shakir was really the go-to guy, which is kind of where we thought it might go. I thought Kincaid might be a bigger factor today. He did have the one touchdown, which turned out to be right on time. But if you look at the receiving, it was Shakir and Cooks, also Kincaid and Knox. Those guys, Kincaid, Knox, and Cooks all had 3 catches. Khalil Shakir was targeted 12 times. He had 12 catches for 82 yards with a long of 18. That is a playoff line right there, stat line right there. A fantastic day by Khalil Shakir. His ability to get yards after the catch, tough going, but he did it on in some really crucial spots. So, all in all, this is, I think, what it's going to look like going forward. It might not be Khalil Shakir next week. It might be Dalton Kincaid, or it might be Ty Johnson if he's able to get back, or James Cook. But today, that's the kind of stat line you had to put out there, those 3 guys, to get this game in the win column. 9
different players caught a pass from Josh Allen. This was the type of the game where every single play mattered. You just start chipping away little by little, and it earned them 27 points, enough to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a top 10 defense and who did a lot to try to stop Josh Allen and his offense. Tre'Davious White, Buffalo's cornerback, was big in this matchup. A couple pass breakups for him. He's in the locker room right now talking to media.
We're callous as a team. When we get in a situation like this, we don't blink. Best quarterback in the league gonna get us points. It's just up to us to make big time stops, and at the end of the game, we was able to get one. Cole got a big time pick today.
Sorry about that. I know that a few plays here, but you had 2 big pass breakups, both on the tight end early on, and then the last play of the game, basically. Can you walk us through those individually if you can?
Well, we was just in zone coverage the first 2, and I just got a good read on the quarterback. Broke on the ball, just believed in what I saw from film study. And then on the last play, we was just in cover man-to-man. I just felt him leaning against me, and instantly when that happens, she's about to break. So I just felt the break point, and I just went with it. And when I broke and looked, the ball was coming, and I just tipped it.
God damn, Trey, you made the block out like this.
As a group, what do you guys say to each other going into that last drive?
Just don't blink. All the training that we've been doing, all the time we spend together, that's for these moments like this. Look everybody in their eyes, man. Like, we was totally confident in what we were going to do, and we was able to go out there and execute.
How did all the experiences with the close games throughout the regular season help you guys be able to pull this one out anyway?
Like I said, I just feel like it builds callous. It builds resiliency too. And we got a lot of guys on this team that played in a lot of meaningful football. So whenever we get in a situation like that, nobody blinked. We've been there before, and I just think that with us going through that, it helps us out, in times like this.
Trey, when you watch Josh make all the plays and you guys get down the field and score, how much does it mean to your defense as a whole to know you closed out the game and helped this team get the win?
Oh man, our quarterback is battling out there. Our offense is battling, and our goal is always to get the ball back and get it to our offense. And we didn't do a good job of that the whole day, but when the game is on the line for the last 2 minutes of the game, man, that's what we want. We got off the field, we got a takeaway, and we ended the game.
What'd you think when the ball fell into Cole's hands after that?
Game over. Game over. I told, get down. Get down. Don't try to run a touchdown. Get down so we can just go on to the next game.
What about the reaction coming off the field of the Bills fans that came down here to Jacksonville?
We know Bills fans. These guys travel. It don't matter where we at. They turn away stadiums into home games, and I'm just happy we was able to get a win for them. So on to next week. We're gonna enjoy this one on the plane, but we got bigger fish to fry.
You talked about calluses.
Today's wildcard round game against the Jaguars marked Josh Allen and Sean McDermott's 14th playoff appearance together. And in those 14 games, when the Bills have been on the road in the playoffs, they've struggled on the road. It was Buffalo's first road playoff victory in the Josh Allen and Sean McDermott era. In those road games, Buffalo's defense has struggled, allowing 33 points per game. In this game, they just allowed 24 to the Jaguars, and yes, at times had trouble stopping the run, but at the end of the day, they have 2 interceptions, enough to give Buffalo a chance to win it, and they do.
Yeah, they do. And for their part, Buffalo got off on both sides of the ball off to a faster start. They got a 3-and-out on the first series defensively. And the Bills, even though they didn't score on their first possession, they had an 8-play drive that covered 47 yards, and they overcame 15 yards of penalties on that first drive. So you really got to feel like they were going to make some hay offensively today. They had to punt that ball away. But they came back on the next one after the first interception, got a field goal, got on the board first, and you could see they settled in, and they did not let Jacksonville run off and leave them, which an offense and a defense that's playing as good as Jacksonville was coming into this game at home, you feel like, man, if you can just stem the tide early on and kind of hang in there and finally let the game settle, and the Bills were able to do that. And they actually walked into the halftime with a 3-point lead after the officials completely mucked up a 26-yard catch by anyway. Faster start, it led to a better outcome, no question about it. And the Bills' defense overall played really well. They weren't stifling, but they were hard to get. Jacksonville had 9 third downs they had to overcome. They got 5 of them, but 3 of them they didn't. And it really put some pressure on them to keep up with Buffalo's offense.
Yeah, Buffalo's defense answered when they had to. At the end of the game, they certainly shined. That player was safety Cole Bishop, who grabbed the interception to end the game. Bishop is in the locker room right now.
How's it going with you?
Good. Pretty excited.
Well, there were a few tipped passes
Yeah.
at the line of scrimmage early in the game. I mean, you had a couple of chances that fell just short of you. How did you kind of just stay in it and stay hyper aware of things that could be coming your way?
It was definitely frustrating early. I know there was one super early in the game where I touched my hands. I was super close, so I was upset about that. But, just staying in it, guys staying locked in, and then Trey being able to make a play right there, and I just happened to be in the right spot.
What can you say about a 9-year vet that's got 3 pass breakups in this game, including the one to you at the end? But you guys also force a field goal drive. He gets 2 on the same drive down there when you're on a short field. Like, just the season he's put together here.
Yeah, I mean, today especially, he was making plays out there. The one of his PBUs in the end zone save, I mean, that's kind of my zone, and he was able to help me out on that. So, I'm super grateful for him, and then him tipping that ball was huge.
Cole, it sounded like in the locker room you were telling Trey you owe him one.
Yep.
What was that conversation like? Like, why were you saying that?
Yeah, I know I'm getting a lot of the credit for that interception, but he made the play. I mean, he had great coverage, was able to make a play on the ball, and then, like I said, sometimes they just fall out of the sky to you.
What was the message there, defensive huddle-wise, after you had taken the lead and you guys know you got to get a stop?
Yeah, we talk a lot about trying to be a closer, closing out the game in those situations. We feel like we thrive in those situations and that we're the most prepared team in those, and being able to go out and close was huge.
What changed for you when Jordan Hancock came in?
Nothing really. I mean, a couple of schematic things with the way me and Poe are doing certain things. We might switch roles on certain things just based off body type and things like that. But nothing crazy.
Cole, I saw after the game, you and Sean had a little bit of a moment on the field. What was that like for you? And I guess what were the emotions you were feeling at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I was just super excited. I think we're both celebrating each other, being able to, like I've said, being able to make a play in that situation is so huge, and just having his support's been big.
I know we asked you this, I think, a couple months ago, but Trey had to come back. So I think you kind of explained to us what you realized Trey meant to this organization, and I know you spoke on it a little bit ago. But for him to be the one that helped make that play, what do you think that means to him and to your team?
I think it means a lot to both. Kind of like you said, I know I'm sure he's had a lot of doubters this past year, and being able to come make a play in the biggest game of the season and the biggest moment was huge. Thanks, guys.
In the second half of the season, Buffalo's defense and the entire team as a whole has really had this identity of don't stop until the clock strikes 0. This go-get-it physical mentality. It stems from a conversation that linebacker Shaq Thompson had with the entire team, was asked to step up in front of everybody, and Thompson spoke about a dog, the Dogo Argentino, which is known as a mastiff that is physical, hard to restrain. Thompson said that is what we have to be, and it caught fire. In the locker room, you see on different lockers, there's actually pictures of this dog barking. And the locker room loves it. The team loves it. They really believe that we want to be hard to restrain. We want to be physical. We want to have that go-get-it mentality. And the defense did that at the end of the game to end the game as a whole with an interception.
You got to use the word stubborn. It doesn't matter how many times you've been told no by the, it doesn't matter how many times you don't go away. You just keep showing up. You're right. Dogs are a great analogy. That's why they're so prevalent in sports. You got this dog that when you hear the candy wrapper, they're right there. The defense, when they've got the ball, the defense is right there. Let's go. When they show up, it doesn't matter how bad the last play was. Let's play the next one. They show up with the same enthusiasm every play, the same enthusiasm, the same aggression, the same alert mentality every play. And that's why it's such a great analogy. And, this defense, as tough as it has been and as injury-riddled, and it continued to get injury-riddled today. Jordan Poyer couldn't finish the game today. They just continue to show up with that mentality, and it's been fantastic to see. And it has paid dividends because with the injuries and the rotating roster, even the front seven, back five, the linebacking core with Bernard's not even there today.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. They figured it out. They hung in there, and now it has become the norm. He's not here. Okay, yeah, we know what that means. When Poe's not there, we know what we got to do. It's just really been fun to watch this team get better and better. And kudos to the coaching staff for figuring it out with different people every week, with a different combination, with different skill sets, with different strengths and weaknesses of the players that they're putting on the field. Jordan Hancock had to finish the game today. They went right after him a couple of times right out of the gate. And ends up, they couldn't go to him all again. And Trey Wright was there waiting on him, and it tipped interception to close out the game. This defense and the performance they put on in this season with the injuries that they've had to go through, it's really a testament to figuring it out and going with what we can do best. It's not going to look great at times, but there's some playmakers out there. Milano's a playmaker. Tre'Davious White is a playmaker. It seems as Cole Bishop is a playmaker as well. Just a fantastic way to end that game and very fitting.
I spoke with safety Cole Bishop in the locker room this week just about the grit mentality that this team has really hung on to this season. Backs against the wall. We are going to claw and scratch and bite our way to the end of the game to get a victory. The Bills are down in the fourth quarter in this game to start the fourth quarter. And Bishop has said things like, there's a lot of doubters when it comes to our defense. There's a lot of doubters when it comes to the way that I play the game. We want to block those people out, and we just want to focus on what we have within the locker room. We know we're good enough to get the job done. I know I've improved a lot in my second NFL season, and I know I'm good enough to be out there with the best. Well, Bishop has an interception today, and a teammate of his, Tre'Davious White, has 3 passes defensed in this game. They were big at closing the game out.
And we said at the beginning, this is a playoff game. And you get into these games, and I get it. We're in the media, and there's social media, and there's 9,000 outlets, and everybody's picking it, and it's got to be this way, and if he doesn't do this, he stinks, and if this team doesn't do this, it's a lost cause. All of the extremes we go to. You get into these playoff games, every team can win. Jacksonville could have won. We can see it. Jacksonville could have won this game today. Green Bay could have won last night in Chicago. Every team that you're going to face can win, but you got to play good. And not only do you have to play well, you got to keep playing well throughout the game. These teams are too good to go away, and that's why these games feel so good. Jacksonville is excruciating because they have to go home, but man, they did not play a bad football game today, did the Jacksonville Jaguars. You got to play good, but the Bills played better in crucial moments. They got plays from their star players and their role players that added up to a bigger number than Jacksonville did. This game was a fantastic game, and this seems to be a tournament that's going to be like this throughout. But you got to remember, any of these teams, from Jacksonville and Buffalo all the way through New England, Denver, even Denver, who's on the bye this week, Houston, Patriots, all these teams are good enough to win these games. That's why it feels so good when you win, because you know you beat a really good football team, and this was a great football game. 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter. Phenomenal exhibition by the NFL in the playoffs.
We knew the battle in the trenches was going to be intense in this matchup because the Jaguars' run defense, the best in the league. They know how to pressure the quarterback. They know how to stop the run. But Buffalo's offensive line was up for the challenge, just allowing Josh Allen to be sacked once. They didn't have a huge number on the ground, just 79 rushing yards, but it was enough to help the offense overall. Left tackle Dion Dawkins was in the locker room after this win.
You're not expecting to go into the end zone when the tush push was called, I'm guessing. So when you turn around and there's a bunch of Jacksonville logo at your feet, what's a little different? Can you share that sequence?
You know, it's the goal is to score with your man, right? So push your guy backwards and see what happens, right? Push your guy backwards. If you score and with your man, let the guy score and with the ball, and good things will happen, you know. But it took all 11 guys, you know, and I'm just so happy, man. It's amazing to win games, but playoff win just feels just that much better, man. It really does.
Dion, you came into this league with Tre'Davious White.
Oh, yeah.
I know he left and came back. He had an unbelievable game today. 2 big pass breakups and then the third one at the end.
Yeah.
What can you say about Trey and kind of his revival here back in Buffalo?
Yeah, man. It's me, Trey, Milano, we started our career 2017. Our first playoff game was here. That's right. And we all knew that. And coming in here, Milano and Trey, we said, we're going to change the outcome this time. Last time, and we left sad. This time, let's leave happy. And Trey left it all on the field, you know. Trey White is back, man. Trey White, Goalie Academy, man. So I'm glad that Trey is here. I'm glad that he's feeling good. I'm glad that he's motivated. I'm glad that he has his confidence back because, like, you know, athletes are athletes, but when you have the confidence from the room and the confidence from the team where you could just unleash and go play, that's what you guys are seeing. Guys love on each other positively, and Trey is playing free.
What was the mindset of the last drive when you came out and knew you had to score on this drive? This is it.
Yeah, it's just execute, man. Finish harder, execute, and then when it gets close, score with your man. Push. Don't get pushed back, push forward. And it was a beautiful feeling that the calls were on the big guys and the skinny guys up front. You know, it's a beautiful feeling because who wants to be backpedaling against Joshua Hines and some of these guys? Not me, right? So let's push the guys forward, right? Let's keep it strong. So beautiful feeling.
First fourth quarter comeback playoff win, first playoff road win for this group of guys.
Yeah.
What does that say about the caliber and the toughness?
It just shows, man, that don't listen to the outside world. Don't listen to the outside world because the outside world could trick your brain, and we know who we are. We know who and we are. We believe in God, and we put our talents on the football field. Postseason, playoff ball is a whole new season, right? Everybody is 0-0. Execute, finish, and keep the faith up there and with the big man.
Pretty good feeling.
I was going to say, a lot of guys get knocked out of the game and coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah.
And I know everybody tries to. Some guys, they can't. What's it like when you keep seeing your guys come back on the field?
It's a beautiful feeling. I think it's more so what I respect the most is guys understand the moment of life that we're in. We're all hurt. It's week 19, 18, 20, whatever it is. Everybody's hurt. Shake it off, take a play, get your behind back out on the field. And everybody has that in mindset. You know, this is kill or be killed. You know, you have to go in with some battle wounds, right? Take the blade out, patch up the bleeding, and keep on going.
You've talked so much about Josh over the years, but just the confidence when
17.
Yeah, at the end of the game.
Yeah, 17 is a dog, man. He is a dog. Like, everybody knows what he's going through, and I'm telling you, you'll never know. He'll never tell you if he's hurt. He'll never tell you. He'll never show it. I'm telling you, bro, I have the best quarterback in the world. We have the best team in the world. I love the kid. And the beautiful thing is he bought us steaks for Christmas. So we get to go home and have another steak together as a unit, and we'll try again next week.
You have 13 points.
This week's game and the proud sponsor of this year's playoffs is Northtown Automotive Companies. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at Northtown, the official automotive dealer of the Buffalo Bills. Dion Dawkins saying Josh Allen bought him steak, so he gets to go home and cook up a nice steak. Well, Dion Dawkins deserves that steak because Dawkins had a huge matchup in this game going up against Joshua Hines Allen, one of the best defensive ends in the game right now. Fourth most quarterback pressures in the league going into this one with 80. How did Dawkins fare against Hines Allen?
He gave up one sack on a rollout that Josh it was a 12-yard loss, the only one sack of the game. And in games past against Jacksonville, Josh Hines Allen has been a wrecking crew. Not today. He was effective, and he's a really good player, but he did not have the kind of game today that he has had against Buffalo in the past. Dion Dawkins did a great job. The offensive line did a great job. The running game you knew was going to be difficult. They didn't run for very many yards. They ran for 79 yards total. And you'd love to see him do more than that, but it's just not going to happen. Kudos to the Jacksonville. They ended the season with an absolutely fantastic run defense, and the Bills could not make hay in it against it. But Dawkins and the offensive line did extremely well. They got some great help from Joe Brady. The play call and the quick release of a lot of the passing routes, the passing game was huge for this offensive line. It always helps. And then when they did need it to drop back, Josh had plenty of time to find his receivers, and they were able to push the ball down the field occasionally. So kudos to the offense. Kudos to the play calling. And, of course, Josh is in a class by himself.
Yeah.
He played fantastic. That guy is just as sore as he can possibly be, if not outright injured, and nobody ever knows.
Yeah.
So, guys in that locker room, they play hard for leaders like that.
Bumps and bruises, that's what the quarterback is filled with, but yet in this game goes off for 2 rushing touchdowns, more than 250 passing yards, and 80% completion percentage. First quarterback in NFL playoff history to do so in a single game. It is so hard to do what Allen does, especially in a playoff game where the stakes are very high. Allen did an incredible job of taking what the defense was giving him, the small plays, the big plays. He knew what to do and was confident in doing so. His head coach, Sean McDermott, grabs his first playoff victory on the road. McDermott is now on the podium talking to media.
Yeah. Oh, man, great win. Great team win on the road. Glory to God. Man, just an incredible team effort. Great win for the organization, great win for everybody back home, and for all those that came down here and supported us, Bills Mafia, man, we heard you. We really appreciate it, really do. Just tough football team. Guys, some of the guys went down, some guys stepped in, did a phenomenal job. Nobody blinked. Kept our composure all the way through the game, which we knew was going to be a challenge coming down here against a really good football team that's talented and well coached. And we saw it through. So guys stood firm, and they made the plays. We made the plays we needed to make, and it was a great way to end the game right there. So good to see, kind of Trey right in 2017 and what he's now doing for us, and then Cole, kind of the other end of the youth movement here. So phenomenal play. So time is yours.
Sean, we've asked you to reflect on Tre'Davious' journey a lot this season, but just what did he mean to the team today with those pass breakups ahead of the last tip fight too?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a better question for Trey in terms of his journey, but if you just follow his journey from the time we got him, if you go back a step or two, it was at the Rams, and you watch him from afar. Like, we're sitting in Buffalo, he goes from the Rams to Baltimore, and he ends up on the season with them. We end up playing him, and then to get him back, and you just think about. When he came back, he still wasn't really Trey, because he was working through 2 major injuries, and yet in Trey's fashion, there's nobody that works harder, and he's gotten himself back now to where he's playing really good football, and credit to him and the work that he's put in, and our medical team as well. Just overall, he's just as good as there is in terms of his determination, his heart, and his really resilient nature.
You think about his journey back to this moment. Just a minute ago in there, he wanted no part of the conversation about himself. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, no, not at all. You look back in 2017, and the word that we had gotten about him was, he was one of the true leaders on that team in college. I'm talking about, right? And so the intangibles, right? You can build a team with, said people and this and that, but it's about intangibles and toughness and how those intangibles and toughness fit into an overall vision for a team and the culture of a team. And there's, in my estimation, no substitute for toughness.
Sean, along those lines, intangibles and toughness, I mean, I think those words probably describe your quarterback about as well as any two. First, the toughness to, he's in the sideline medical tent a couple of times in the first half, to come back from that, and then to lead the drives when you needed to have it at the end of the game. What did you think of it?
Well, it trickles down from him in terms of the team's toughness. I mean, when your quarterback's that type of warrior, that type of competitor, it just, like I said, from a leadership standpoint, it just goes through the whole team. And we got to get him as healthy as we can, though, for next week. So it's not something we take lightly. And I did think overall that, he took some hits today, but there was also times where we protected him well. And I think he got registered they had 3 hits and 1 sack. So credit to the O-line on that.
Coach, the 4th down play in the first half, the Lawrence carry on 4th and 2. Usually you don't get the benefit of the doubt on those reviews for spotting the ball. What made you feel like it was worth doing, and was it the magnitude of that play that convinced you it was worth the risk?
Yeah, it was a great job by the guys up top. And then the magnitude of the play, it was close, we felt like, and I felt like it was worth the challenge at that point from a 4th down situation.
Did you get an explanation at the end of the first half? It certainly looked like the clock was at 0. Was there any explanation given?
No, other than they felt like it wasn't, and that they had one of our players offsides there.
Sean, I know that you guys don't pay attention to the outside noise that things said, but all the talk about not winning a road playoff game, to be able to come here and win a road playoff game, what does that do for a team to galvanize them? And is it something that you guys made sure of to say, hey, let's put that to rest?
I mean, yes and no. We were aware of what some of the talk was, but at the end of the day, the game's decided between the white lines, and our guys knew that. They knew we were going to go up against a heck of a football team today, and a well-coached football team. I mean, were they 8-1 over the last 9 or 7-1 over the last 8? And pretty healthy team overall, so which we've been battling through injuries really the entirety of the season. So our guys, including today, so our guys are tough, resilient, and there's a lot that we need to work on though too as we go back to work this week. But couldn't be more proud of the guys and the entire team and coaching staff as well, and what they did to stick with it. I thought the offense in the second half was really good, and the defense made the stop at the end to get us the win. So special teams did some good things as well, baked in there, but plenty to work on still as we move forward.
On a day where your running game wasn't rolling, to be able to win offensively in a different way, how big is that for this group?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a 2-dimensional offense. You guys know we talk about that quite a bit, and you got to be able to pivot if the run game isn't working. I thought Joe did a really good job in that regard at times, and the hitting the strike down in the middle to Cooksey there, huge play, and we made the plays that we needed to make when we needed to make them, and I think that's really the story behind it.
Sean, when you look at your regular season, it would be great if everything was smooth, but it doesn't work that way. How much did that prepare you for a day like today, when having to come back from stuff and keep moving forward?
Yeah, it builds character. I mean, you go into every season, you're hoping and praying that there's no adversity, but I mean, we've all been around this long enough to know there's going to be adversity. It's just a matter of what form it comes and how big it is. And we've really been dealing with it, quite a bit of the year. And I think you learn from it, and the team does. And because you got some young guys who've never been through it, and the college game is somewhat different. The journey of a season is long in the NFL, and especially if you're into the playoffs. So this is a good kind of experience for our young guys to see the crowd and how ready you got to be this time of year in particular.
What did you see from your defensive players as they prepared to get on the field for that last drive and the execution?
Yeah, I thought the defensive staff I was clicking over back and forth between the offense and the defense while we had the ball on offense, And they were doing a really good job of communicating and making sure everyone was on the same page, because that was going to be important. That from a communication standpoint, they had no timeouts. They were going to be on the ball. So that was the start of it.
Sean, was there any conversation about right before the final touchdown about kneeling or trying to take more time off the clock before that one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we know from a game management standpoint that they have a phenomenal field goal kicker and can hit from 68 or something like that last week or whenever it was. So, like I said, I went out in pregame and thought about not going out so I wouldn't get, in awe of how strong. I mean, the guy's kicking it from East Aurora, basically, which is in Buffalo, for all those that you don't know. So, Western New York, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we knew that it was going to be tight. We practiced those situations, though, when you only can really give up X amount of yards, and if he uncorks a 70-yard field goal, I mean, that really only left us a few yards right there. So when Bobby knew it, did a great job, players executed. That's what it really came down to, is great execution.
What did you say about the tipper before?
I mean, it seems like that's where the game's going. If you look at, around the league, there's a few of these guys that can just unload kicks from all over the place, right, and punters as well. So I don't know. I don't know what they're eating or anything, but.
Well, related, what was your thought on that Prater and heading into the game?
Yeah.
The decision to go with him and the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about resilient. Here's a guy that really couldn't finish the game last week. He has the week he has. The look in his eye was phenomenal. I mean, when your kicker's tough, that says a lot too. Your punter, I mean, Mitch had to take over Matt's kickoff duties, and there was no flinching there either. So Reed does a good job of from those are 3 veteran players right there that have been around a little bit, been around the block, but man, their toughness also rises to the surface.
Was that the plan going into the game with Mitch handling kickoffs, or did something happen pre-game to Matt?
No, that was the plan. Yeah.
The scene at Josh's locker is kind of consistent over the last month or two. I mean, he's taken a lot of punishment. Did again today. How's he doing this?
What was the
week in
scene?
and week
What
out?
was the scene?
He's kind of sitting there, kind of looking like he had just been in a battle.
Well, because he has. I mean, he's a warrior, and everybody. That's the name of the game. Is you got a quarterback. They're going to want to hit the quarterback. They're going to want to affect the quarterback. They got a great defensive line over there that rushes well, and a couple first-round picks at least. So Matt Edwards over there does a great job, and so. But you go back to. Let's just go back to we can talk about the result, but what leads us to the result and the process of the preparation and the hard work during the week and getting your rest and all those things, because rest is not easy this time of year, but it's important. And so that process, that preparation piece is what led us to the result today.
Sean, you mentioned resilience a few times. Shaq Thompson comes in after playing only 6 games in the last 2 years before coming to Buffalo. Interception early in the game, obviously the tackle on Trevon Lawrence. What has he meant to this defense?
Yeah, that play was huge. TB has done a great job for us. Unfortunately, TB's been banged up, right? So, what if we didn't have Shaq? So that piece is important for us, and it's the play that he made came up during the week. I believe it was a very similar play, at least to the play we ran during practice, and we ran it over again, and it showed up today, at least in some form or structure, and he picked it off, which is, again, you go back to practice and the preparation, and I know that sounds like coach speak, but there's value to practice and doing things the right way during the week.
What were you going through in that last minute, because you've been in that situation so many times? What was going through your head after he scores? You got a 1 minute to protect it, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I really honestly wanted to try and bleed the clock down if we could, but it's like, okay, what plays that you have that do that? You want to take a knee. I mean, we could go through this for probably about an hour and talk about this. You take a knee, you're back. I mean, the ball's inside the 1. By the time we take the snap and even just knee it, then you're like, okay, run the clock down to 30 seconds, 28, whatever. So we're talking about these things, and I'm going, man, I know who they have on that side of the ball at a minimum, starting with the place kicker. And so we're like, all right, let's not get cute. Let's just go win this thing. Put our defense out there, and they did. They executed at a high level. So, and a lot of prayers too. They helped.
Any update on Gabe or Jordan?
No. no, nothing for you at this point.
Hey,
All right.
Sean.
Bills head coach Sean McDermott said we made the plays we needed to make. I thought that was a really important point because from Buffalo's rushing offense to their passing attack, the rushing offense is what they've kind of went with all season long, is what they've leaned on, is James Cook earning the rushing title leader with 1,621 rushing yards. And in this one against the Jaguars did a really good job of limiting James Cook, just averaging 3 yards per carry. So they had to go to the air, and they were efficient in doing so. How did you see Joe Brady's play call really help Buffalo in this game?
Well, that's what the regular season shows you is you've got, yes, certainly Josh Allen can win games if you want to. He can throw it, he can run it, he's the ultimate weapon. But if you want to win in different ways, which they can do with James Cook, giving the ball to James Cook, having enough weapons on the outside with Kincaid, and this today was Shakir, with James Cook, with Ty Johnson, who wasn't in the game today. Dawson Knox 3 for 3 on targets and catches. This game shows you that you're going to meet teams in the playoffs who do really well who defend really well what you do offensively. You've got to find ways to beat teams left-handed. Today they did it with a quick passing game and something they haven't shown too much of in the regular season, dropping back and throwing the ball, pushing the ball down the field over the middle. Pushing the ball down the field was something we haven't seen until the last couple of weeks when Cooks has gotten involved. Even Keon Coleman had a crucial play that got him down inside the red zone early in the game. You've got to find ways to win. And the Bills today were forced by Jacksonville's quality defense to find different ways to win. James Cook wasn't going to be an engine today. It had to be Josh Allen in the passing game. They got it done. And the Bills defense had to play good enough to give the Bills offense a chance to get back on the field and win this game. And they did that. The two interceptions were huge. The Shaq Thompson interception early was absolutely huge because it gave the Bills a chance to take the first lead. The tipped interception at the end, that gave the Bills a chance, that iced the game for the Bills. It comes down to plays, a handful of plays. This game, I mean, it was, statistically, we're right here. Josh played a little better than Trevor did because he had a much higher completion percentage. The Bills threw the ball 35 times and completed 80% of them. Jacksonville, he only completed 60% of his throws, and they had 10 less offensive plays than the Bills did. This game was right there. Yeah. And the Bills had more ways to win than Jacksonville could defend. And Jacksonville, one play at the end took them out of their chance to come back and tie that game up.
You made a great point about the way that Josh Allen won the game from the pocket. If you were to tell me that Josh Allen is going to sit back all day from the pocket and win this game, I would have said, no way, Jose. This is the quarterback who averages 50 rushing yards per game in the playoffs, puts the cape on, and does these crazy things that you couldn't dream of. In this game, Allen was efficient from the pocket. Again, took what the defense gave him. He didn't need to be a superhero. He was a robot making the correct decisions with a human heart, leaning on what he needed to do in the moments that he needed to do them in.
Yeah, and they had 26 rushing attempts to the Bills. Jacksonville had 23. Jacksonville had 30 passes. The Bills had 35. They just made more with those opportunities than Jacksonville was able to. And even at the end, Trey White making a play took Jacksonville away from their last chance. I told you earlier, the possessions in the fourth quarter, the Bills had 2 9-play drives for touchdowns. Jacksonville had a 10 and 11-play drive, two drives for touchdowns. When the chips got pushed to the middle of the table, these two quarterbacks took over this game, and man, it was a tipped interception that decided it. Yeah. That was it. It was an amazing game, fantastic game, and I think deep down, you beat a really good football team in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's why it feels so good to the Buffalo Bills. That's why it feels so good to their fans. You really feel like you showed some ways to get a victory that you haven't really been called on or haven't really been dependable during the year. and you got it done against a really good football team. That's why these games feel so good.
Josh Allen and the Bills have now won at least one playoff game in 6 straight seasons. A lot of teams can't say the same. As Buffalo moves on in the playoffs, not sure about the opponent yet, but what do we need to see out of this team as they move forward?
Well, you need to find out who you're going to play, no question. And here's how it works. If the Patriots win, the Bills will go to New England next weekend. If the Chargers beat the Patriots, the Chargers will head to Denver. The Texans and Steelers game, if the Steelers win, they will host the highest seed remaining, which would be Buffalo, unless the Patriots win. If the Patriots win, they get Buffalo. The Texans could beat the Steelers, but they're the 5 seed, so they always play the worst team that is between Buffalo and the number 1. So that's the way it's going to be. If the Chargers win, Buffalo goes to Denver. If the Patriots win, they host Buffalo.
And what do we need to see out of this team in this week of practices leading up to whoever they're going to face in the divisional round, Steve?
We need to see a clear injury report. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's what you're saying. I mean, you need Jordan Poyer to be a little bit tweaked, not really tweaked. You need him to be available. You need Ty Johnson to come back and get healthy. You need Max Hairston to come back and feel good. You got to get these guys healthy in 6 days. They may play Saturday. I doubt it because although I doubt it, if the Patriots win, the Bills and Patriots could play Saturday game because they both play today.
Right.
If Houston beats the Steelers, it'll be hard to put the Texans or the Steelers on Saturday next week because they play tomorrow night on Monday. It'll be a 6-day week for them.
Yeah, they'll have to play
that
on
wouldn't
Sunday.
be fair. Those guys will probably play on Sunday.
Yeah. Man, what a game by the Buffalo Bills. It came down to the final minute, but Buffalo's defense did what they had to do to end this one. The Bills advance, moving on to the divisional round. It's Buffalo's first road playoff win in the Sean McDermott and Josh Allen era. Their first as a franchise on the road since 1992.
32 years.
Whew, it's been a long time.
It's difficult to do.
But hey, we're here, and they're doing it. We hope Josh Allen gets to sit on a couch for the whole week, rest up, get healthy, because the divisional round will be here before we know it. We want to thank you for tuning in to Bills Postgame Live. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. We'll see you next week.